Good morning and happy Friday. As the weekend is just in front of us, we continue to have some conversation this week about how to keep 50 days going, you might say, or more importantly, how is it that we can respond to the initiative of God on the back end of a beautiful retreat experience that we shared together. This week we have had some conversation about creating a favorable environment. Remember what we said? We said, the retreat was God's desire for you and your desire for God. And what 50 days created was a favorable environment for those two things to come together. And so the invitation for us after 50 days is to continue to simply create a favorable environment where God can speak to us and we can hear God and we can respond to God's presence in our lives. We also talked a little bit yesterday about a rule of life, about how grace builds on nature. It's the human stuff that allows us to create that favorable environment, you might say. And so I'm going to ask you three questions. Then we're going to unpack the first today, the second tomorrow, and the third on Sunday. So the three questions are this. What was the grace of 50 days? What is it that God did in your life? Second question. What do you need in your life humanly, or what kind of support do you need in your life to keep that going? And then thirdly, what might be the temptations that we might all expect that would try to undermine that? Let me ask those three questions again, and then we're going to unpack the first. Again, as we create a rule of life as we move forward, what was the grace of the 50 days? Number two, what do you need humanly in your life to continue to and receive from God? And then number three, what are the temptations that you would expect in your life that would try to undermine that? Let's unpack the first today. Let's talk about what was the core grace for you of the 50 days. Because that's what we want to preserve. That's what we want to nurture as things go forward. Again, for some of us, it was just the freedom of having something to pray with, a structure, you might say. For some of it was much more personal than that. There was healing in your life. There was freedom from a particular sin. There may have been a particular deepening, or maybe even a breakthrough in your relationship with Jesus or his mother, or in a variety of ways, the saints, or whatever it is. For some of us, it could have been just a renewed sense of God's love for you, or for some of us, it could have just been hearing God. Those graces are very personal, and for the thousands of people who walked through 50 days together, the beauty of it is we have a God who orchestrated thousands of different retreats, right? That's the beauty of it. It's not just one retreat. Every one of us was receiving from God in some very personal, distinct, and very particular ways. And so God did something very particular in your life, and I want to ask you today, what was that? And do you know that specifically? Now, I'm going to invite us today to go one step deeper, because many times our answer to that question, God did this for me, or this was the theme, that's usually an answer that we give sometimes too quickly. And if we kind of linger in the question, maybe we'll discover other things that God did for us, or deeper things that God did for us. And that's where I want to invite you today. What is it that God did for you? And spend some time thinking about that, because there may be more there than you think. Or there may be other things or deeper things than your initial answer would have responded to. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about what do you need humanly in life to keep that or preserve that. And then Sunday, we'll talk about what can we do to be on guard for temptations that might seek to undermine that. We have more podcasts coming after we wrap up things on 50 days, and I look forward to continuing to walk with you. May God bless you today. Have a great weekend, and until we join each other again tomorrow morning, God bless you.